All right, welcome back to another edition of the 12 Days of Innovation. My name is Taylor Williams. I'm one of the digital learning specialists for Birdville ISD, and I am here with Sean Gaillard. He is a principal and an author, and I don't even have the ability to share the greatness that is Sean. So Sean, will you just introduce yourself, and then we can just dive in?
Well, awesome. Well, Taylor, thank you so much for the invitation. I'm very humbled and honored by that, and I am grateful to be here with the wonderful learning community that is Birdville ISD. You nailed it. I'm a middle school principal in Lexington, North Carolina. I am the proud principal of Lexington Middle School, and I am the author of The Pepper Effect. And I'm the guy that came up with the hashtag Celebrate Monday. And I'm kind of a Beatles fan.
And I definitely want to hear more about your book later in the interview and how the Beatles have inspired you in your teaching and your leadership. But to start off, when you think about just innovation in education, how would you define it? What does innovation mean to you in your leadership and just in education in general?
Wow, that's a good broad question. So when I think of innovation, I think of any effort, any step that a student or an educator makes to go against the grain, to attempt to do something different, bold, and creative, and it doesn't necessarily have to be rooted in technology. So anything that's new, anything that is outside the comfort zone, that is going to add value, build a better world, help someone, support someone. Do something for the betterment of our future.
I completely agree. I think that it's something that is always looking forward, right? We're always trying to see what could be done and trying to accomplish that. So since that's, as a principal then, for myself and my colleagues who are, hosting the 12 Days of Innovation, it's our job to look at innovation, encourage that in teachers. But for you as a principal, what do you do to encourage or to empower your teaching staff, your faculty, to be innovative and to bring those ideas into their teaching?
So it comes down to a couple of things when you say that, Taylor. So what I think of first is the vision. Vision, I operate in that realm, and it's my job as the principal to make sure that the vision is evident, that the vision is shared, and that the vision is rooted in service and support of kids. At Lexington Middle School, our vision is inspiring a limitless future for all students. So that's where the conversation begins. The other thing besides vision is I've got to push myself out of the comfort zone and model what I expect or what I'd like to see. So so for example, this year I've been peeking, or for the last several years, I've been peeking over the fence of the podcasting practice, and I've encouraged teachers to do that. And I got crickets. So I figured, you know what? Let me try this. Let me try to model this. Let me try to help make this happen. And so I started a podcast this year, 6 episodes into it. So and I don't expect everybody to do a podcast, but again, if I want teachers to embrace innovation and to do something that's different or do something beyond their regular practice, I've got to model that and be transparent about it. It's not the greatest podcast, by the way, but it's something. It's different and it's new. And if that is going to serve as the kernel of an idea for a teacher to try something different or to try something new, I'll be that guy. I'll be that guinea pig.
So then what do you say? Because when talking to some principals, they might not have as open a mind as you do about being that model and showing that innovation to their staff. And so what advice, or what would you say to a principal that would essentially go against or challenge what your approach is to learning, knowing that research and everything else is showing that we need to be innovating, we need to be thinking ahead and re-looking at how learning is happening in our classrooms. What about from a leadership perspective? What would you say to your peers as other principals to encourage them?
No, that's a good question. So what you try to do, well, first of all, for me, because I like to go 125 miles an hour. So for me, my kind of my weakness or my fault, and I have many, is I have to be patient. And it's just like teaching, so as a principal, your classroom is the schoolhouse. Your classroom, your students are the teachers whom you're serving and supporting. So I think it's important that we tune into the gifts of others. And if there's a way that you can kind of tease that out or call that out and say, hey, hey, Taylor, I noticed that you were doing something in class the other day that I think would really be beneficial for the rest of our department or the rest of our grade level. Tell you what, next faculty meeting or next PLC, I just want you to share 5 minutes what you did. We have to leverage the strengths and the gifts and those positive traits that others have in the schoolhouse, because it is a band. It is a group team effort. So I would encourage principals to look at the gifts and the strengths that you have in the building, and if you tie that to the vision, and you tie that to the fact that it is 2018 and the days of 21st century skills, if and again, I'm kind of dating myself. I mean, I remember back in the 90s, hey, the 21st century is coming, we've got to do the 4 C's. Man, that ship has sailed, and you've got to get folks on that ship, and so I look at it as a way, as an opportunity to leverage gifts out of others, just as I used to in the classroom as a teacher for kids.
I mean, and that's excellent advice. Thank you for that. So, can you give us some examples, of how you are? I mean, you just kind of sort of did, just in general, of empowering your teachers to show what they're doing. But how do you encourage them outside of just having them present? If a teacher approaches you and says, I'd really like to try this. It sounds like you're pretty open to it, but do you have some examples of that and how it maybe failed, but then how it also maybe succeeded?
Okay, well, let's see. Failed. Well, I wouldn't. Fail. That's a strong term.
True.
So and failure. People get despondent when you throw that. So maybe flopped is a better term, because you can bounce back from a flop. So I would say, so for example, we have a teacher here who kind of saw what we're doing with culture and positivity, and said, hey, I would like to start a random acts of kindness club. We don't have anything like that in our school. I'd like to take leadership in that, and encourage our kids to promote kindness and positive relationships within our building. And man, I go for it. As long as it's in line with whatever safety regulations or what have you. So, I mean, I would say that's kind of a successful idea. A flop. One thing in my first principalship, I remember I had this kind of grand idea that we would have an X period. And I thought that would be kind of, and at that time, that was, I guess, what we would now know as genius hour. or 20% time. And I kind of said, hey, here's this great thing, go for it. And it flopped, man. And it flopped because certain teachers weren't ready for that. So we had to draw back and punt and come up with kind of a tighter plan. It was also important for me as principal, because I thought, oh, I'll just say it and it'll happen. No, that's where you got to build capacity. So I had to rely upon teacher leadership and really tuning into better ideas from teachers. That's always important too as a principal. I would say that that's another piece of advice as well. Is I don't always have the best idea. There's always a better idea, and it doesn't always have to come from the principal. Sometimes it can come from your custodian. Sometimes it can come from a child. Sometimes it can come from that angry parent who's got this crazy idea, and you go, wow, think about that. So I'm big into listening and tuning into that. So I don't know if that answers your question, but those are just kind of two kind of quick examples of a flop that we learned from, and then kind of a successful thing.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. I kind of want to shift gears now, because you'd mentioned the hashtag Celebrate Monday, and I am just curious as to how you use Twitter and social media. I mean, I see you on there. I see you with Celebrate Monday and that hashtag, but how do you use it to share your school's story? What types of things are your school doing with social media to share the great things that are happening in your classrooms?
So I think it's important for any school, any organization or class or department to have a clear brand. And I'm sure there are other folks here in the 12 days, and you guys know this as well, is that the best storyteller we are our best storytellers. As much as I'd love the Wall Street Journal or some reputable news media or major news media outlet to kind of come out here and capture our story, that's not going to happen. Those folks sometimes tend to build upon the negative. So I think we have to be a storyteller, and we have to embrace that. And you embrace that by crafting with your team a clear brand that is in line with your vision and keeps kids at the center. You want to share that, because if you're not going to tell your story, somebody else will, and you might not necessarily have control over that. So something like Celebrate Monday, which is my love letter to the world, that's kind of my attempt to shift the dialogue or shift the paradigm on Monday, and instead of Monday being an excuse to share negativity or to be grouchy or whatever, Celebrate Monday, that's an opportunity to really begin the week on a positive, uplifting note and sharing the great things that are happening in our noble profession. We are doing world-changing things. We are doing positive things, and we need to share that as a profession. So that's my larger game. As a schoolhouse, we have a particular hashtag called LMS, Lexington Middle School LMS Masterpiece. That's our theme. And what we're trying to do is kind of share the positive things. And a lot of great schools, you guys are doing that in Birdville. You guys are promoting those things, and we're doing the same thing. It's as simple as coming up with a hashtag, getting a few folks, and it may flop. You may have one or two people that are going to be diligent about it, but it's got to start somewhere. And synergy starts with the spark. And so that hashtag, that brand, is that spark that is going to kind of drive, hopefully, the great things that are going on in your school. And there's, thousands of great hashtags, thousands of great things that are happening out there on social media in which people are sharing things. I will add, though, that there is a responsibility for that. And we talk about, and I know that you probably talk about this in your line of work as a digital coach and those things, is that we have to be authentic, and we have to be careful how we portray and how we share our story, and to do it in a sincere, powerful, positive way. Sometimes you don't always have to stand on a desk to say my school is great. Sometimes it's something as simple as you're walking through a classroom and you're seeing kids doing great things or teachers doing great things. And hey, great collaboration happening in our PLC today. Proud to be a part of it. And hashtag LMS Masterpiece or hashtag Birdville Learns or hashtag Great School or whatever it may be. So I think that's really, really important when we talk about branding. There's a responsibility, and it's couched in positive digital citizenship.
Again, just modeling, like you said, throughout from your teachers to your students to then beyond, and you're taking that one step further with that hashtag. So that's great. Thank you, Sean. Well, I want to shift gears again, and I have to admit I have just started to scratch the surface of the Pepper Effect. I'm enjoying it so far, but tell us about it. It just recently was released. Tell us about your book.
Well, it's thank you so much for reading and sharing that, and it's good to see you've got a graphic of the book cover right behind you. Yes, product placement at its finest. Thank you. Basically, the book is a one. It's a bucket list thing. It's a dream of mine. I've always wanted to write a book. In a previous life or by trade, I'm an high school English teacher, so. I have a great appreciation for the written word and writing, and I'm very honored that Dave Burgess Consulting, kind of hitched my idea or hitched my dream to their dream, and so I'm very grateful for Dave and Shelley Burgess for picking up the book. The Pepper Effect, in essence, is a merging of my two passions. I'm very passionate about music, namely the Beatles, and I believe that their story. As a band, specifically in their recording of the Sgt. Pepper album, which stands as a work of innovation and a groundbreaking work. I believe that their story is a vehicle for inspiration for how educators and school leaders can apply to their own pathway to building a masterpiece within their school. The book delves into kind of the four riffs of what I consider to be the Pepper Effect. And it's simply this: believe in your vision. That's the first riff. Believe in your masterpiece. That's the second one. The third one, believe in your collaborators. And then the fourth, ignore naysayers. And so I basically kind of share my story as an educator, as a school leader within the book, and then crosswalk it with the Beatles story. And I kind of my goal with the book, if folks who haven't read it yet, is I hope that when you read it, one, thank you. And then two, I hope it makes sense, and I hope it makes a positive impact. And then I hope you're able to kind of take something from that and create your own masterpiece, whether it's in your classroom, whether it's in your coaching, whether it's in your leadership. And I hope my book is a small part of others' greatness in the schoolhouse or in the district.
Well, the thing that I'm enjoying about it is the way that you are seamlessly, like you said, connecting the story of the Beatles to teaching and to how they had done what they do in such an impactful and historical way, and how we can just place that right into those ideas and those concepts right into our classroom. So, man, Sean, thank you so much for being a part of the 12 Days of Innovation. It is awesome that we were able to work it out for you to be a part of this. Those of you watching, I encourage you to go check out the Pepper Effect. There it is right there above my shoulder. And follow Sean on Twitter and social media. And man, we just greatly appreciate you here in Fort Worth, Texas, and beyond, and just being a part of this awesome web summit.
Well, thank you guys so much, Taylor. I'm honored to be a part of it. I will add, my maternal grandmother is from Texas, so there's a little bit of don't mess with Texas running through my blood and running through my veins. So that place is that place. Good God, that great state. I don't want everybody just turned off. Man, he just referred to Texas as that place. What's wrong with him? Oh my gosh, no. but Texas is very near and dear to my heart and part of my family history. So I thank you for that, and look forward to further learning. And since this is the 12 days of Birdville, man, am I the partridge in a pear tree? Am I the Lords of Leaping? I don't know. We'll find out, man. So, but thanks again.
We'll have to find out. I think we were kind of toying with that. Do we directly connect it to the 12 days? Do we create our own? And you know what? We just got some great speakers like yourself to just be a part of these 12 days and really just bring an opportunity for learning and growth for teachers around the world. So thank you so much, Sean.
Appreciate it, Taylor. Thanks, man.
This is Tony, and I'm coming to you from the Nest. We are so excited about 12 Days of Innovation and so excited that you've joined us for this video. Don't forget, there are more videos to watch for 12 days, and you can find out lots of details and sign up at 12daysummit.birdvillenest.net. Don't forget to share what you're learning and your aha moments, and join the community at #12daysummit on Twitter and Facebook.